The genre of my magazine is jazz. This is a niche audience. My subculture is ages from 18 to 30. This is challenging the stereotypical ages that listen to jazz. Because of this, my magazine needed to look contemporary. Both genders can be interested in this style of magazine, but I think more males would buy the magazine because there are stereotypically more male jazz musicians, so it would be 6% male and 40% female. The ABC ones would be 63% because younger people have disposable income. This is my front cover. The masthead is an abbreviation of the words jazz time. I have chosen these words because it has connotations of jazz is making a comeback. I have also reinforced this with the cell line under the masthead. I have abbreviated the words to JT because some contemporary magazines do this, such as NME. This does challenge the forms of jazz magazines because all the ones I've looked at haven't abbreviated the words. I have used a gold effect on the text to make it connote a brass instrument, which is a typical instrument in the jazz genre. I have encoded a banner at the top of the page. I have pastiched this from an issue of Mojo to follow the codes and conventions of a magazine. Here I have told the audience about 2 topics that will be inside the magazine. Next to the banner, I have encoded a half circle as an anchorage, Roland Barthes, 1979. The circle is gold with a black text to keep the house style of red, black, white and gold. I have pastiched this from a front cover of NME. I have used an image I have taken of a jazz guitar to reinforce that the text about what the text is about, and also connote more that it is a jazz magazine because the cover image alone doesn't fully suggest that it is a jazz magazine. The main cover line is bigger than the rest of the text to denote it is the main article in the magazine. The cover lines around the page are lined up at the side of the cover image. I have pastiched this from a cover of Mojo to follow the codes and conventions of a magazine and denote there is a lot in the magazine to read. I have kept with the house style and put a stroke on the text to make it stand out from the page. This challenges the conventions of a jazz magazine I have looked at. However, I have done this to make my magazine look more contemporary for my stereotypical young audience. My main cover image is of the model I have used for my double page spread. The main image takes up most of the page to connote he is the main focus of the magazine. The shot type is a medium close-up. I have pastiched this gesture my model is doing from the cover image of Jazz Is of Jamie Cullum. I have done this to connote smartness and classiness, which is a stereotypical view of the jazz genre. This also creates him as an ideal self, Carl Rogers 1980, because he could be seen as a role model being a young musician for my targeted young audience. He could also be an ideal partner because of the clothes he is wearing and also that he is using direct gaze from the page to bring the reader to look at the page. I have also added 2 other images on the right hand side of the page. One is a poster of Jazz Festival and the other is of a model I have used. I have added them to reinforce that it is a jazz magazine and denote to the audience what is in the magazine. This challenges the jazz magazine's forms and conventions I have looked at, but I have done this to make it look more contemporary. Above the image of one of the models I have took a photo of, I have encoded a slightly larger cover line with the box shape behind it to make it stand out from the page, to emphasize that it is exclusive. This will make the reader want to read more about it. This is my contents page. I have pastiched this layout slightly from the issue of Kerrang! I have chosen this layout because it looks professional and contemporary, because it is from a popular magazine for young people. For the biggest image on the page, I have used the model I have used for the front cover to follow the codes and conventions of a music magazine. On all images, I have used a drop shadow. I have also pasticed this from Kerrang! Magazine. I have used this because I think it looks professional. I have kept with the house style to make it look professional also. I have used these conventions of subheadings above the contents and pastiche this from the issue of Kerrang! Kerrang! Is not the same genre of my magazine I have created, but I've looked at Kerrang! Because it is a contemporary magazine that appeals to a young audience. I have added an editor's letter in the contents page. I have done this because I think it makes it look more professional, and many magazines do this. I have drawn my own signature here as well because it is a stereotypical for my editor's letter. I have added a page number on the bottom of the left-hand side of the page to follow codes and conventions of a magazine. The circle is gold with black text to keep the house style. This is my double page spread. I have used this layout that is similar to many other magazines I have looked at. The one big image is of the model I've used on my front cover and contents page. The main image is of the model pretending to play a saxophone. This creates my model to have a star persona, Richard Dyer. A saxophone is a stereotypical jazz instrument, so it develops the forms and conventions of a jazz magazine. I have also used white, orange and gold to keep with the house style of the magazine to make it look more professional. I have added a quote from the article that is bigger than the rest of the other font. Many professional magazines do this to keep the reader interested because it could be the first thing they look at when they turn to the page. I have also created an album cover for the artist that I created in Photoshop. I have done this to make it look more realistic and professional. Here I have added page numbers and my magazine masthead on the page. I have pastiched this from many other magazines. I have added a drop cap to keep with the forms and conventions of many other magazines. Around the title of the page I have added a stroke to make it stand out from the page. I have also done this with the name of the artist, but not as strong because it is bigger text. I have added a caption on the main image of the other page. I have pastiched this from Q magazine. I have also used the gold border around the page. This is an Art Deco effect that stems from the 1920s, which jazz music started, so it links with the history of jazz. By Shannon Worthington.